is like starting out with your room. So most of the time when a client comes in, they have an inspiration and they talk to us about what they're inspired by, i.e. inspiration. So let's say a client comes to you and comes into the store and talks to you about, okay, I was inspired by a photograph, I was inspired by a piece of art, I was inspired by a sculpture. So let's say, for instance, that a client comes in and is inspired by something organic. Just a couple things, for instance, okay? I mean, there's aspen, how beautiful aspen is and the coloring of aspen. This happens to be covering for a book, but this little enamel box or tortoiseshell box has this great graphic on it. It's a black and white. It's almost worldly feeling because it's got a little bit of a tribal feel to it. So if you take that as, for instance, as an inspiration, along with some organic colors, you know, this bleached piece of wood is such a beautiful natural element, along with the variations of color in it. It just makes you feel peaceful, harmonious. It almost just feels spa-like. Along with, like, you know, something like that's so trendy and has been trendy for the past couple of years is anything that's like quartz or natural stone amethyst, which is a purple color. But using these as inspiration as a client comes in, normally what we start out, again, was the base. So what I like to do is start out with a rug. So let's say that we have this as an inspiration, and what would you choose from this? So what I've done is just pull a couple of inspirations, or a couple of things to fulfill the inspiration. Here's a rug. It's a great modern, almost chalk-like rug that has got this great feeling to it. It's got a variegation in it that is so beautiful with those gray colors to it. So that would go beautiful with this type of look. This is another one. This is a hide, which is fantastic because of the variations in color. And again, we're dealing with a monochromatic type feel to the room. So we're talking about this color variation because of this inspiration. So that being said, that's your basis. That's where you start out, where you can pull all of your feeling, all of your textures, all of your colors from. So let's say we start out with this, either one of these, and we start out with them and we decide, okay, what do we want to do for some of the wood product in the room? So here's a good bleached out piece that's from the Benchmade Oak collection here at Bassett Home Furnishings. It's a wire brush, handmade, American-made piece of furniture. And we have several collections within occasional furniture for living room and dining room. But the colors in these are so fantastic because the wash is on them. Here's another one that's got a great wash on it. It's got a little bit of a gray wash on it. So if you can see how we're playing on this and layering, again, we're keeping it monochromatic so that there is not very much of a variation. When you look in the room, it becomes more harmonious, more spa-like. So that being said, again, with this wood base for your furniture, what then go from there is to do something like a basis for furniture that's like similar to, again, the wash of it. One, you want to have longevity for it. Two, you want to have something that's going to hold up for your family, because we all want it to look great, but we all want to fluff up a couple of pillows when the company comes and flounce on it, you know, when they're not there, and enjoy TV and watch TV. So these fabrics I'm showing you, this is straw from our Revolution collection of fabric. It almost has a linen feel to it, but the great thing about it is it's recycled plastic bottles, which is one, good for the environment, but two, it's made out of polypropylene. It is a petroleum-based fabric, but the thing about this is you can clean it in such a great way. You can spot clean it with distilled water, 2/3 distilled water and 1/3 bleach. So as you spot clean, and as you would with anything else, when you spot clean, you want to spot clean somewhere that, you know, it's not noticeable at first, just in case. You can clean this. Now, it's going to get dirty just like any other furniture with dust settling on itself, but the cleanability of this is better than anything else. We rate this almost close to our Sunbrella, but not quite. It's like a couple steps down from that. So this is very family friendly. And again, we're building on, most people would go, well, if I've got a family, I don't want to have anything all that light. Well, again, with this fabric, you can do that, and you can get that fresh spa Almost, again, that beach feel if you're at the beach, or you can get that almost like a California feel if you want to use that, along with all these monochromatic feelings in the room. The next thing to feel, again, we're going on that inspiration that was brought in, is how about we layer on some chairs, some pillows, just to add texture to it. And again, the Bassett, here at Bassett, designers at Bassett, that's what they do for you. They show you how they can do that, and the longevity of how, okay, we're going to do a neutral base, but in 5 years I want to throw navy into it, I want to throw pink into it, I want to throw orange into it. You know, the painting behind me has got the pinks in it and the grays in it. Inspiration from those, as you change and evolve in your home, you can evolve with this neutral palette. And the designers at Bassett do that for you. They give you a plan, and they lay it out with a floor plan and along with a forecast of where you can go in your home. So let's say we introduce this, which is a great stripe, almost bark-like fabric that would be great on a chair. And again, you're looking at that neutral palette, you're looking at that layers of textures, you're looking at all of these replication of textures and patterns within the room. And you know, what you could do is throw in some of these like modern tribal feels to them and layer those on the sofa that give you a great feeling to it. As far as pillows, or you could go anything is like an ottoman that sits around the room, depending on what your layout of the room is. And I always like, when we're doing some kind of organic room like this, what I like to do is, when we're laying these out, is to do something that's got, again, doing with the layered of textures and within your room. I always like to introduce leather somewhere in the room. Either in a chair or in a larger piece or upholstery that's a sofa, sectional love seat, or within an ottoman in the room. And again, I brought this, it's almost like that really warm, natural tan color to it. So all of this is a replication of what the client brought in from the beginning to show us, you know, this is what the inspiration was. And everybody's inspiration is different. Mine happens to be bright colors. Some people's aren't. So some people's is different than that. So again, come see us at Bassett.